Welcome back to Couch Talk, everybody. I'm Joe, and today we're here to talk about the new trailer, the second trailer for the upcoming Halloween movie. This movie is directed by David Gordon Green, who isn't really known for a lot of other directing work, but he has produced a lot, most notably the Joe movie with Nicolas Cage. John Carpenter, the creator of the original Michael Myers movies, is in fact here to help produce this, and it is also being written by, co-written with John Carpenter, Danny McBride, who's also more known for comedy. He's been in like Eastbound and Down, and Vice Principals, or Principals, I believe. He was in This Is the End, and he's been in a lot of like comedy movies. As of late, he's been doing a lot more serious things. He was in the last Alien movie as the pilot of the ship. I'm excited to see what he could turn this into, because I know he has a very big heart for this franchise, and it's not hard to imagine he could do good. A lot of comedians are coming over and making very serious movies. I mean, just look at John Krasinski, coming from The Office as the heartthrob Jim to making A Quiet Place, which was like the best horror movie of the last couple of years, in my opinion. Had a lot of heart, a lot of good scares, a lot of dread. All things that a good horror movie needs. So it's not impossible to believe that people with comedy also have this very dark side to them. I'm excited to see how his creativity translates to this movie. And again, this movie is going to star Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode, and Nick Castle is coming back to play Michael Myers. He is also known as the guy that always donned the mask and was Michael Myers. He's very tall, he's pretty muscular, and for an old guy, he still looks like he can kill a lot of people, which I'm sure we're gonna get in this. Now, this movie, from what I'm told, is essentially being made as if all of the other Halloween movies that were ever made after the first one weren't made. So John Carpenter, he didn't want to make Halloween 2 and 3 and all the other ones that came after it, but because they were such hits, the studio kept forcing him to pump more and more out. But really, he only wanted to make the first one, and it was supposed to be a one and done. For anyone who has seen it, it's very famously known that even though he gets shot out of the window, when the detective goes and he looks out, he's gone. And it was supposed to end like that. It was just supposed to leave you with that sense of wonder, what's gonna happen, and it was supposed to just be it. But again, like I said, he was forced into doing more. But he said that he would only do this movie under the condition that we pretend that all the other ones weren't made, and this is an immediate follow-up to the first one, even though it takes place so many years later. But there's not going to be another one after this one. I mean, so he says. Who knows with studios nowadays? They might force another one, but he really wants to end it with this one. This is the final showdown between Laurie and Michael, and it is what he has wanted to give fans for years and years and years, and I gotta say, it looks really good. Now, the problem with modern horror movies, in my opinion, are they rely so heavily on jump scares, but not a lot of talent goes into the story in itself. And the thing that made Michael Myers so good wasn't the kill count that he racked up. The Rob Zombie ones that came out, they were good, but they were more about the brutality and less about the story. The scary parts of the movie were him killing people, which is scary, don't get me wrong, but you can't just rely on blood and gore and jump scares to make a good movie. The thing that I loved about the first Halloween was that it wasn't really a high kill count. It was 2 or 3 people, but it was just how it happened. Seeing a girl look out of a window, but then for us as the viewer, we're seeing Michael walking up slowly behind her, and it's that slow burn, the 100 feet of him walking up with her not turning around, that made the movie so good. It was that tension. It was the thought of wanting to scream at the top of your lungs for her to turn around. Just turn around, even though you know she can't hear you. And it's those moments that make good horror. And just from the second trailer alone, you got that in the trailer. You see him in one beautiful still shot walk from the front yard all the way to the backyard to a garage, and then he grabs the hammer, and then he walks into the house. And it was all done in one take, and we all know what's going to happen, even though the trailer doesn't show it. You know what's going to happen. You know they're going to show it. But the problem with the trailer, in my opinion, is they showed too much. Now, if this is truthfully being done fully with the help of John Carpenter, the kill count in this movie isn't going to be ridiculously high. He's not going to kill 40 or 50 people. And from both trailers, we've already kind of gone a little bit too much. I mean, you see that he kills the one guy in the garage. You see that he kills another guy by smashing his head into a bathroom stall. Well, I mean, I guess you don't know if he's dead, but pretty sure he's dead. I mean, Michael drops his teeth in there. I don't know about the girl's fate, but in my opinion, I don't think she's going to make it. Now, in this trailer, you see him kill 2 other people. So that's 4 people right there, and those also look like really intimate, dreadful scenes. And I really wish they didn't show as much as they did. Like, I understand them wanting to show him, like, walking up behind somebody, or, like, you know, the whole walk to the back of the garage to grab the hammer and everything, but it was just too much, and I'd rather them not show all that, because now, during the movie, those scenes aren't going to get to me the way they would have if I didn't realize they were coming. So, I'm not saying I don't think this movie's going to be good, because I do. I think it's going to be really fucking good, and it's been a long time since John Carpenter wrote a movie that came to like a big blockbuster screen and not like a TV movie. And I think they're all going to bring their A game. And Danny McBride has something to prove. He wants to show that he can get out of the comedy spotlight and into a more dramatic, serious tone. And it's the finale. Like, this is like the finale like that we deserved back then but never got. This is the finale that only John Carpenter is thinking of. I think it's going to be fantastic. I love horror movies, but I'm not afraid to admit that they don't impress me nowadays, because most of them are just jump scares, and it's kind of shitty. It's a shitty tactic to do, but it works on like a lot younger people. They love that rush of like the jump. The only good horror movies that are really made now are by James Wan, and I don't mean like The Nun and Annabelle. I mean like The Conjuring, The Conjuring 2, The Conjuring 3. Like, though Conjuring 3 isn't out yet. Hopefully we get it. But like The Conjuring 1 and Conjuring 2, in my opinion, are like some of the best horror movies of our generation, because it doesn't rely on jump scares. It relies on its story and it being so well written that the story in itself is creepier than the jump scares in itself. And you go home thinking about it, and those are the best kinds. And I hope I get that with this. I hope I go home and I think about this for weeks to come. I know I'm going to go see this for the midnight premiere. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Are you excited for this? Are you going to see it? Did this review kind of sway your opinion on whether you wanted to see it or not? Anyway, as always, I'll catch you next time. What about YouTube? You gonna come see it with me?